Hello and top of the morning to you beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes, indeed. Now, even in trying times, well, are they still trying times?
You say that too.
Well,
because, okay, you are now beginning to flourish. You are now beginning to, shine. So
I'm beginning to shine. I wasn't shining before.
No, I'm saying, I'm talking about in comparison to how some people are feeling. It is still considered trying times.
Trying times.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's just encourage everybody out there that this too shall pass. That's what it's called.
Amen, amen.
I can start preaching to you right now.
Please, let's
Because
go.
God is about to turn your setback into a comeback.
Yeah. Amen. Give the Lord a wiper. Okay, you know what? In honor of spending our mornings in your homes every morning, one we never take for granted. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for letting us into your homes every single day. Monday to Friday, we're always here for you. Yeah. And this is another fresh edition of Wake Up Nigeria.
Now, you already know that this is going to be lasting for about 2 hours, 45 minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in. There's a great reason for you to hang in there with us.
Yeah, so keep hanging in there. And it's going to be a great day. We're sure of it. My name is Yomi Ope.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. You can stream this show live on tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Now, remember, if you want to participate in the show, send in comments, greetings or whatever, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
We often go through our social media pages during the show. We'll be able to read out some of your messages before long. Just make sure you download our app for Android or iOS for your mobile devices so you can watch us from anywhere.
Yeah, so we take off this morning with some wise words from Chudage, with Daily Vulnerable.
It was fascinating to watch and beautiful. He was dissatisfied with the status of his career and relationships. And so he rebuffed all my efforts to help him, to encourage him, to advise him. And that's what depression does. It tempts.
And then, as always, we have birthday shout-outs, where we celebrate you, we celebrate your loved ones on your special days.
And why not a nice meal from Chef Belinda this morning? And there she is on our screens. We'll see her later.
There's always something tasty coming from that woman. And then, to join us and discuss a very important aspect of living in the reality of COVID-19, we have Dr. Maimuna Mustafa and the Employees Assistance Professionals Association are volunteering mental support for those who need it. More on that a little later on.
Now, after that, we have relationship expert Damilola Oluwatoyinbo, who's going to be giving tips to couples on strengthening the bonds of affection. Touchy type of thing,
No, the bond might be beyond touch though. It might just be. But we also have a tech discussion coming your way. It'll be taking place between, all of us here. We'll have a tech entrepreneur, a trainer, and the CEO of Techspatriate. Really interesting, right? Techpatriate. They'll be talking about entry paths to technology-related jobs. But I did not shoot the
Very nice.
deputy. Okay, had to just finish that.
Yeah, artist and production designer Toluwalope Ajayi is going to be joining us this morning via Skype to discuss a collection of her works.
Then another conversation will be happening with director and cinematographer Kayode Kazeem.
Exactly wife material.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thursday.
It felt like we're about to interview Nancy Seaman or something.
Oh, well, hey, cinematographers, you have to show their works.
Yeah.
So I've been here since Monday, every day. This is like my first almost full week back.
Oh, wow.
And I'm feeling the strain. I'm feeling the pressure. Like, when you've been home for such a long time and then suddenly back full speed I didn't think it would affect me that much, but
Yeah.
I just realized I was forgetting things. Like, okay, I forgot my watch. I ran back to go and get my watch. You know, I forgot my mask. I ran back to go and get my mask. And these are things I don't usually forget. So I know that a lot of people are probably going through this kind of thing, getting back into the swing of things.
Get it back. I mean, the thing about human beings is that human beings adapt. Some adapt easier than others. Of course, when you're much younger, it's easy for you to just adapt to anything. So if you uproot a kid from here and you take them to another country, South Africa, within a few weeks they're good to go. But you know, with older adults, it's more stressful. So now that we've been on holiday for almost 2 months,
We're calling it a holiday.
it's a holiday because now we're forced to rest and all of that. Getting back into the swing of things can be a bit stressful. So there's going to be a bit of strain on the body.
Yeah.
And so even going back to work and all of that, you need to pay attention to stress signals that your body might be giving to you that, okay, that we're stressed in this area, you know, you need
So
to
are you getting like things like headaches, or are you feeling drowsy at funny times of the day? You know, are you eating enough? So I realized I wasn't eating as much as when I was at home. So at home, I had like 4 meals.
Yeah.
But back at work is like, have I eaten? When did I eat last? I'm forgetting things. So we need to just make sure we take care of our bodies, look after ourselves, and let's not forget our immune boosters. You know, vitamin C, taking, you know, some really good fresh fruit if you can find some. Washed personally, please. Wash it yourself. And, you know, just make sure you fortify your body against all that strain. I also feel like when kids eventually go back to school, they might also feel it as well, because they've literally been stopped from running around the playground, screaming at the top of their lungs in many cases. And by the time they get back to that...
I think my kids want to go back. I was talking to them yesterday. They want to go back to school. And we do have, like, evening activities for them that keeps them...
what,
active.
Games? What's
Well, outdoor activities.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
You ask them to like do like physical education activities?
No, just outdoors. Just let them go outdoors, have fun, ride bikes. For about 2 hours before dinner. So that just keeps them going.
Okay.
You know, so that it's not just them, you know, camped in the house.
that word, I'd never heard the word before this thing started, the cabin fever. And there's a movie that talks about that. We'll mention that a bit later on, but I think it's about time for the news update.
Yes, indeed. Now, electricity workers in Nigeria have called on the power minister, Maman Saleh, to resign his appointment with immediate effect. Their call is premised on the sack of the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, Gur Mohammed.
Eradicate all the corrupt practices.
Only days earlier at a news conference, these electricity workers commended the management of the TCN for mustering the needed will to sack a political appointee whose tenure expired since 2018. Now they are back on the turf. This time they are up in arms against their supervising minister, on whose authority the chief executive officer of the TCN has now been sacked. The workers are backing the sacked CEO, whom they say strengthened the transmission network nationwide.
We hereby call the immediate resignation of the non-performing Minister of Power, who has displayed sufficient lack of knowledge in the ministry he supervised. While we commend our members for their response, should not fail to pull out should the workstation be militarized, as witnessed in some of the locations today.
The relief of MD duty is not clear to every one of us, because we do know that he improved the staff welfare, he improved the equipment drive in the company, he also saved money and made money for the company.
When the news of the CEO's sack filtered in, the workers resolved to shut down all activities, and this prompted the dispatch of policemen across all TCN offices nationwide. And while the workers planned the protest, the minister, accompanied by security officials, was said to have brought in the newly appointed managing director into the TCN headquarters. The workers are demanding reasons for Gul Mohammed's sack.
The minister is quick to answer, to get approval to remove the MD. But other pending union issues we had with him over 2 months ago, he has done nothing, and he's giving an excuse with the COVID. But today, he got this approval as quick as possible. So if he can as well get this approval with this, he can as well get approval to redress this particular actions he has taken against the MD of TCN.
The workers have vowed to stay off work for as long as police presence is maintained across their offices in the nation, even as they continue to protest the unceremonious sack of their managing director. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, the Ministry of Environment is cleaning up all clogged drainages and channels in Lagos State. Flood-prone areas are the major beneficiaries of this exercise. Abimbola Agbebi has the story.
Whenever it rains, Lagos residents are always apprehensive. Why? Major roads are most times flooded. This is caused by poor drainage and waste. Though Lagos sits below the sea level, the state accounts for more than 10,000 metric tons of waste daily. A chunk leads to flooding. The State Ministry of the Environment is aware of this and intensifying efforts to put a check on this situation. It's mid-year and the rainy season beckons. Flood-prone areas, Obawale community in Iju is the ministry's first port of call. Although dredging of the clogged canal started, it is evident more needs to be done.
We've been to some places we complained. We've been to some places we found very good. The places where we saw that they've not done enough work, we have asked them to go back and do, particularly the Abaton area. So we have asked them that say we are coming back in another 1 week to come and look at it because we are not satisfied with the work. And we've been to other places where they've done a perfect work, like this place, for example, and so on. So it's an ongoing process.
This is what we do almost every year to clear the channels, given the number, given the population, and we need to save people from, being swallowed by flood or something like that. That's what we're doing. We're going around.
Residents share their nightmarish experience whenever it rains, but that story is about to change.
Anytime rain fall like this, they'll be seeing fraud.
There's many things we don't swear for us. Our machine, water they enter all the time. And so water they enter with, but we thank God now we see that they don't clear the dirty.
Ilo Awela in Ijayi Ojokoro local government is another community with a life-threatening topography during rainy season. Indiscriminate dumping of refuse by residents make the situation worse. Residents are happy with the ongoing clearing of their drains.
Actually, we are very appreciative of the government because in the past we have a lot of sleepless nights. Whenever there is flooding, a small rain falls, we used to have a lot of flooding. Many of our community members, many of them have died, many have moved out of this place. But with this, we are very grateful to the government.
The team also visited other areas like Ajuwon River, Idimu, Ikotun collector drains, Agege and Okoba drainage channels. For residents whose buildings are still standing on the drainage right-of-way, the Environment Commissioner has ordered for the evacuation of such buildings. This is part of the measures to ensure a flood-free state. For the Lagos Ministry of the Environment, the cleaning of all drainage channels across the state would continue till September 2020. Residents are urged to desist from indiscriminate dumping of refuse to allow for free flow of water in the drains. Abimbola Agbebi, TVC News, Lagos.
Well, that's it on the news updates for this hour. Let's take a quick break and return with sports. Today is Thursday, May 21st. Wow, things are moving pretty quickly.
Sharply.
Yeah.
And I have the Guardian newspaper here with me first, starting us off today. And it says, why government may lose COVID-19 battle by UN. Police provoke doctors' wrath over brute enforcement of curfew. Journalists, others on essential duties exempted, says IGP. Catholic body, FCT, differ on reopening of churches and mosques. The story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 6. Buhari APC under fire over alleged 48 billion naira ministry scam. PDP, others seek probe into allegations. Groups fault move against PAMSEC and contractors picket office over 17 billion naira debt. Says here, robbers on rampage in Lagos traffic. Metro page has more on that. Fresh crisis rocks APC over choice of Bulama as scribe, others. And federal government okays 2.2 billion naira to retool Anambra customs, play to varsity. And that's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
Now we have this headline on the cover of The Punch that's giving lots of people concerns since last night. And probably the governor as well, probably giving him some sleepless nights as well. Lagos begs doctors as NMA orders indefinite sit at home. Wow. And Lagos State government to manage simple coronavirus cases at patients' residences. WHO hails Nigeria's response to Kano massive community transmission. And North has 54% of cases, 70% new infections, say northern governors. And a few other stories, political related. Oshiomhale's lawlessness will destroy APC, says the deputy chairman of the party. We can't reinstate demoted DG, Firo board tells Ono. Ondo Oyo appoint Amotekun Corps commanders, and contractors block Agric minister's office over debts. Wow. And at the bottom here, customs get nods to spend 623 million naira on computers. 2 killed as rival cult groups clash in Kwara. Gunmen abduct naval officer in Ondo, demand 50 million naira. And a bunch of other stories there that you will find in The Punch today.
I have the Vanguard here now. It says, fresh crisis brews in APC over Ondo, Edo government polls, governorship polls. APC now lawless, says Deputy National Chair Shuaibu. Queries Bulama's appointment, says party risks losing in Ondo, Edo. Moving on from that story, I have one here at the top of the page on harassment. Lagos NMA insists on sit at home as police backpedals on curfew. Buhari sacks Uwakwe as NECO registrar. 4 others will continue to repatriate, says repatriate Al-Majurai, say northern governors. Just above the masthead there, it says kerosene importation drops by 75% as diesel rises by 21.7%. And finally, young banker commits suicide in Lagos, drops note for father and girlfriend. That's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard.
Yep, that's about all that we can take on the newspaper headlines for this hour. We'll do that again at 7 o'clock. Stay with us.
Fight depression. It was fascinating to watch and beautiful. He was dissatisfied with the status of his career and relationships. And so he rebuffed all my efforts to help him, to encourage him, to advise him. And that's what depression does. It tempts us into closing the blinds, not having our bath, shutting down the world. It's more comfortable, it's easier to give in than to fight it. It annoyed me slightly, but I knew that all I had to do was be there. But then slowly he began to fight. First, he forced himself back out into the world. He opened the blinds, he let the light in, and he walked out, literally and figuratively, into the open. Then he turned his attention from himself to other people. Have you eaten? Do you need me to do anything for you? "Are you okay?" Then he gave of himself, comforting someone whose heart had just been broken, and staying there until this beautiful soul, dealing with necessary pain, had found some reprieve from his tears. And then he woke up the next morning and got ready early to go to church, to feed his soul and his spirit and his mind. He was fully present in the moment, listening, writing, absorbing, being, breathing out. And then on the ride back home from church, he began to speak about what he had done. I decided I would not allow the depression get to me. This is drama, I said to myself. Then he began to speak about his plan of action, what he would do to turn himself around, how he would march forward, what he had decided to do. This thing, called depression, it's an insidious bastard. But it is also just a bully. And like every bully, it runs away from those who stand up to it. It is how you stand up to it that makes the difference. Accept it, feel it, step into the light, seek help, focus on the future, fight for your joy. But I promise you, if you fight for your joy and you fight that depression, it will flee from you.
All right.
Very nice, very nice. Encouraging words every single day from Chude. So there's this talk, as people are really, really eager for sports to begin again.
Yeah.
Not just, in Europe and other places, in Nigeria as well. People want to see sports back on TV. And so, but some players are expressing some concerns because, even though we're eager to see them back on the pitch, some of them are saying that you can't put our lives at risk. And I don't know, for some, because there's some things we've witnessed over the past probably 2 to 3 decades where a footballer looks healthy, but is not actually healthy. So I think probably some of these footballers, at the end of the day, they, like you said, they have their health in their own hands.
Yeah.
So you have to take your own personal precautions in order to safeguard your own life.
True. So I was thinking about the fact that, sports is so universal. It brings so many different countries together. And I have a feeling most people started understanding that coronavirus was real when some of the players and sporting officials started
getting it. Yeah.
Started getting it. That was when everybody was like, "Oh my goodness, that this thing is real."
Serious, right?
Yeah, and those stadiums are packed whenever just one match. Imagine what one match could do.
Yeah. So in fact, if you're a bit conversant with the sporting, it was said that there was a match between Liverpool and Atletico Madrid. So it was a Spanish team and an English team. And as at that time, Spain, of course, they were getting reports. So it was said that that match could have been a major point from which it got into England and spread a lot more. It wasn't like it was not there.
Yeah.
But when you have over 60,000 people in one place.
In one place, yeah.
Do you know what that means? Remember the story of South Korea and Preparation 31? That was just one person.
Yeah, yeah.
So imagine 60,000 people together.
Exactly.
So I had some banter with some of my mates, my friends, when on WhatsApp group, and some of these players raised concerns. Now there's a Watford player, the captain, Troy Deeney, who said he's of black and a mixed black and Asian heritage. And it is said that they are 4 times more susceptible to die from the virus than any other race, according to some reports. So he said he wanted assurances and couldn't get it. And then he has a 5-month-old baby at home. So he was given some special concession. Yes, you can. But then, you see, looking at it now, you have now, why I feel, I'm for as much as it is valid for those who don't want it to come back, I feel it can and should come back. And these are my reasons. Now, there's been FIFA has directed across the leagues, you have only a maximum of 200 to 300 people in a stadium at a time. Imagine a stadium that can seat 60,000, just has 300 people.
Yeah.
Now, each of them will be tested twice a week. Now, they'll be tested a day before the match. They can even be tested on the match day because, as at now, the fastest return of test is about 45 minutes.
Wow.
South Korea does even, South Korea can give you can take your test here on the road, driving test, and before you get to home, your result is already waiting for you. So imagine when I'm tested just before the match and I have 300 people who are not positive. we can do what we want to do.
Exactly.
And then we go back home, we ensure we keep rules. Before we come again, we're tested twice a week. So I feel that working under the safest work conditions for almost any worker around the world.
Yeah, true. I totally agree. I mean, once you maintain those precautions consistently, I mean, we're talking about going back to work for many people, and many people are scared. There are a number of supermarkets. I mean, it's not everybody that's doing it, but there are a number of supermarkets you can't go in without a face mask.
Yeah,
true.
And once you get to the entrance, they make you wash your hands. Not even hand sanitizer.
You're right.
You know,
I saw that, and I was
you wash with soap, and you know nobody likes the feeling of soapy hands. So they know that you wash it properly at the end of the day. So they put soap for you. Then you scrub your hands, you wash it, and then you cannot go into the supermarket without a face mask. And when you get to the till to go and pay, there's distance.
Yeah.
And everybody knows the rules. So you stay 3 feet away from the next person. You walk to the counter, pay what you need to pay, and go out. So if we maintain this kind of precautions consistently over the next few weeks, I think everybody can just gradually ease on back to work and all of that, so that you don't have a situation where people just start doing business as usual. I think the only challenge now is the other sector that is not that organized, you know, the transportation sector, open markets, places like that.
So, but the open markets actually did put a lot of things in place. I remember visiting a Sunday market where we parked outside by the gate, and at the gate there was a big, should we call it a drum of water, the tap type, with soap beside it, and you know, some people selling masks. And the people selling masks were wearing masks, and they obviously were working for the market. So if the market what do they call them, associations, come together and make those things happen.
Are you talking about the Ogba Sunday market?
Yeah, that
one's very organized now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm saying it's possible.
And that's why,
it's
yes,
possible.
very true, very true. You know, like you mentioned Ogba, you have a number of people who come there from different places, and you see the kind of people that even come there, you know, they would want to take precaution and all that.
Of course.
But let's say, for instance, K2 here, Mile 12 market.
Yeah, so Mile 12 is another time zone. It's not even another.
Or Igbo.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm not being
it's about the associations. How do they go around collect? They collect money from all these market women.
Yeah.
They should be able to go and give them masks. That's the truth. How much is one mask as opposed to how much they've been collecting from all those women for dues and Esusu and Ajo and all those things? They will find you.
You're right.
They will find you if you're owing money. Yeah. So the truth is, if you want to keep people safe, you can. Giving out hand sanitizer, maybe one bottle of hand sanitizer to every sector. I'll call it a sector now. The meat sellers will have their own. Fish sellers will have their own. It's possible.
It's possible. You see,
it's just
you mentioned something which is quite true. For this is going to be around for a while. We have to learn to live with it. We have to learn with it. I mean, apart from that, you have asymptomatic people and all of that. So it's about like you said, we cannot grant the economy to a full halt. We know that there's a lot of people that have been affected by this. I mean, you look at, apart from those who, let's say, for instance, we're mentioning football, there are other people who maybe they are groundsmen. They have to come to clear up the place. They're stewards. You know, they have to come, and if their match is not played, those people will not work and will not feed. I mean, you have the US, which before now is about the strongest economy, saying that this is the worst job loss since the Great Depression in 1929. That is massive. A number of people can't even eat. So, and I normally spoke to somebody. I said, look, when somebody has to face hunger and face infection, I mean, you'd want to eat. Yeah. You have a chance with the infection, but hey, if hunger, that's the major thing. You know? So, you know, I feel like we should, and then we should do it in a controlled environment. Those people who are scared, the footballers, they have valid reasons. Of course. In as much as some of them, what they earn in 1 week, some of these other workers who have to work every day cannot earn that in 5 years. I don't know.
Very true. So I think I'm always thinking of people who earn.
If they say they're not playing, they're likely going to say, don't worry, we will give these people something. Those players are going to probably start thinking that way. Yes. They've done, some of the players have already done that. They put money together to give some of the...
But you know the funny thing, the players that have taken a pay cut even want to play. Because they themselves are saying, look, I need to be active. I have done this thing. This is something I'm used to. I want to come out.
Exactly.
But I'll take a pic. I mean, Barcelona players, you're looking at players, people who earn 300, 400,000 pounds a week. Some of them took as high as a 70% pay cut.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
And said, okay,
After earning that much.
let's allow other people. And then they wanted to play. And then Danny Rose, who is the voice from England, who's saying that they're treating us like lab rats, he's still getting his full pay.
He's still getting his full pay.
I mean, full pay. He has not said anything that, okay, let me give my pay. I don't have a problem. If he's scared for his life, it's not a problem.
Exactly.
But you have to understand that, look, man, you are not doing work. You are getting paid. Some people are struggling. They're looking for work to do.
I mean, when you consider even other sports, especially sports like tennis and the rest of them, you know, tennis even shut down earlier than football. So a lot of these guys were saying that, let's not even talk about the workers. Let's talk about junior tennis players, tennis players that are just coming up, that are paid per match. It's not like you have a huge contract they pay you per match. So if you don't play,
you're not getting paid.
You don't get paid.
That's true.
So you get.
Wow.
So you haven't played for 3 months. Just think about that.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't played a single match for 3 months.
Someone mentioned that schools also, when schools were, I don't know, when they were asked to pay for a third term, the teachers, that's how they get their money, from what you pay for the fees.
Of course.
So they're thinking that they're going to teach virtually. And then I know more parents came up and said, I'm spending all this much for data. I have to get the gen on. There is no light. I have to pay for fuel. I have to pay for data. And then I have to keep these children. And now you want me to now pay the same money I was paying for first and second term?
But guess what? The schools are also investing in laptops and data and generator fuel for the teachers to make sure that those teachers are also online.
I'm saying that both sides are valid. What I'm saying is that, look, some things have to find a way to reopen for some people to even feed. It is valid. I mean, how are they going to pay the teachers if nobody is coming to school? So they have to find a way. Everything is moving online, virtual.
Yeah.
I mean, I told a friend, whose daughter, my friend whose daughter was playing chess, and I was like, oh, look, as it stands now, the best gift you can give to a child now is a computer. Because the world tomorrow, man, the world is going to be online. That's where everything is going to happen.
Thankfully, there are used computers, second-hand ones.
You're
you can
right.
get refurbished ones. They're not as expensive as you think anymore.
True.
But with that, we're going to be taking a quick break. We'll be returning in a bit with much more. It's a brand new day, and it's always a beautiful sight to behold, no matter the situation. A brand new day. Yes, indeed.
Brand new day, brand new things. Looking forward to the proper easing off of, the lockdown and all the restrictions and the curfews and all of that. But anyway, we don't want to talk about all those things that drag us down. It's a new show, it's a new day, so welcome to a new experience.
Hopefully your morning has been great so far. Maybe not so good, but hey, that's why we're here, right?
Yes, indeed. Now, to make it anything but ordinary. Thank you for choosing us. And thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
We appreciate you and would love for you to stay safe and stay alive. A mask or a face covering remains vital. It's a vital prop. It's a vital piece of clothing. It's something you need to step out of your house with every single day. Also, sanitize as often as possible. Yeah,
there's still a curfew out, so be careful at the times when you need to go out and make sure you're back home by 8 p.m. every single day. My name is Yomi Owope.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. You can stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv or on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yeah, don't forget the app that you can download by searching for TVC Connect on any device. Yeah. And you can find us and watch us live as well.
So there's something great happening on Friday. We're going to be having something called Wake Up Nigeria Extra, where we go live on Instagram around 2:30 in the afternoon, and we're going to be having some amazing celebrities join us online on Friday. So it's something you should look out for. Just look out for our handle at TVC Connect on Instagram. We'll be going live with Wake Up Nigeria Extra.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Now we have a recipe for you today, as usual. So stick around for that with Chef Belinda.
And then you'll be joining us to discuss a very important aspect of living in the reality of COVID-19. Dr. Maimouna Mustafa the Employees Assistance Professionals Association are volunteering mental health support to those who need it. Later on the show, you'll hear more.
Right after that, Damilola Oluwatoyinbo, you know him, the relationship expert. He's going to be giving couples tips on strengthening the bonds of affection.
And then our tech discussion is going to be taking place. Mike and Ui Ebuhoma is going to be here talking as a tech entrepreneur and trainer and CEO of Tech Patriot. Now they're going to be talking about entry pass into technology-related jobs and careers.
Interesting. Now, of course, this is going to be bringing us a bit on this week in history. Occurrences from way back.
Yeah.
So make sure you stay around for that as well.
Artist and theatre production designer Tolulope Ajayi will be joining us via Skype. We'll be discussing a collection of her works very soon.
Another conversation to come will be happening with director and cinematographer Kayode Kasum.
280.
That's actually a very good question. A lot of people are looking for money, but when they get it, what were you
What are they
planning
going
to
do with it?
They say if you found. You cannot find that kind of money anywhere.
Are you sure about that?
$800,000.
No, you don't
anywhere?
just fight, but you can make it. So let's say you made it, right?
Yeah.
You made it.
If you made it
as profits,
nobody will ask you how, because for someone
because
that
you made the
going to
money.
make that kind of money, he has already had a plan, or but someone that finds, that's the kind of person that can squander it or something.
But I'm interested in that the discussion that you're going to have in tech.
In tech.
Regarding careers, because I think this is a time, if you've been thinking about changing your career, this is the time to begin to learn something new and begin to make the move. Even if it's a gradual thing, you might not quit your present job, but this is probably the best time to start thinking, especially if you're, maybe between 25 and 30.
I'm telling you.
Learn a new skill, get a new certification.
Yep.
Exactly.
If it's something in programming, whatever it is, I think this is a good time
it's
to
not
do
an
it.
issue of arts or science. You know that time when we're art science, they tell you, oh, don't worry about maths and all of that. Look, virtual, online, computer. Look, if you're going to do art, if you're typing a script, you are not going to be writing with your pen again. You're going to be online. Basic stuff, Microsoft Office, Excel. You have to learn how to use them. Those are things that no matter the kind of job you're doing tomorrow,
must have those skills.
you have them as a basic prerequisite.
Yeah.
So, and then someone was like, I think it was a 60, 70-year-old man who started coding. No matter how small, but everybody, technology, that's where it is.
Yeah, so 7-year-olds, at least I know my 7-year-olds are using Microsoft Word, they're using Excel, they're using PowerPoint. And kids have been using them around the world because they've been infusing tech in most of their classrooms from that age. And I think people just really need to reconfigure their minds about it. There's also a particular course I saw online. If anyone needs the link, I'll send it on my page, where on LinkedIn, about 30% of the tech jobs right now are looking for that particular, tech companies are looking for that particular skill. And it's not very common, and it's very highly paid. So
They are.
Yeah, so
if you're looking at maybe, probably AI is, artificial intelligence is strong, number one.
Yeah.
AI, anything AI. And you can start at whatever level you want.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. So anyway, so that's some good advice for someone out there this morning. If you are thinking about changing careers, this is the time to make that move.
But it's about time for us to take the news update.
And Nigeria recorded 284 cases of coronavirus overnight, pushing the total number of cases to 6,677. 1,840 people have been discharged and 200 people have died from COVID-19 related complications. Of the new cases, Lagos recorded 199 cases, Rivers 26, Oyo 16, the FCT 8, Borno 8, Plateau 7, Jigawa 6, Kano 5, Abia 2, Ekiti 1, Delta 1, Kwara 1, and Taraba 1. Doctors in Lagos State, the nation's commercial capital, have begun an indefinite sit-at-home strike over incessant harassment of its members on essential duties by the police. In a press statement signed by the chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association in Lagos, Saliu Sane, the association accused the commissioner of police in the state, Hakeem Odumosu, of issuing conflicting directives on social and mainstream media to the effect that essential workers, including doctors and other health workers, are not exempted. This contrary to President Muhammadu Buhari's directives on the exemption of essential workers, including doctors and other health workers, from the ongoing lockdown and movement restrictions. Lagos branch of the NMA resolved that it is presently unsafe for members to continue to provide health care services under the present confused arrangement. The association cited a particular case in which the police allegedly impounded an ambulance conveying a patient in need of emergency care. More than 50 essential workers, including doctors, were arrested in Lagos on Tuesday night following the directives of the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu. Electricity workers in Nigeria have called on the Minister of Power, Maman Saleh, to resign his appointment with immediate effect. The call is premised on the sack of the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, Gur Mohammed. Only days earlier, these electricity workers had taken to the streets to commend the management of the TCN for mustering the needed will to sack a political appointee whose tenure expired since 2018. Now they are back on the turf. This time, they are up in arms against their supervising minister, on whose authority the chief executive officer of the TCN has now been sacked. The workers are backing the sacked CEO, whom they say strengthened the transmission network nationwide. When the news of the CEO's sack filtered in, the workers resolved to shut down all activities, and this prompted the dispatch of policemen across all TCN offices nationwide. And while they planned the protest, the minister paid the newly appointed managing director a visit in his office. The workers are demanding reasons for Gur Mohammed's sack. Well, that's it on the news updates for this hour.
Guys, as you can see, lately I've been working from home and I'm here for you and still your #1 breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Ben Fit. Today is going to be just a little bit body conditioning, and I want you to repeat this exercise for 4 good times. Take your time. Each exercise lasts for 30 seconds and recovery period for 15 seconds. So if you're watching this, come on, don't just watch. I want you to stand up and let's work out. All right, your very first exercise. Take it up, give me some walking, your knees down, double push up, that's good, take it up, and out. Woo. Let's repeat this exercise, go, come on, double push up, good job, plank, and take it up. But for those that can challenge, I give you double push up. That's good. And okay, stop. I told you recover for 15 seconds. Your next exercise is going to be lunge. All right, forward lunge. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Take it up and switch. Take your time and switch. You can as well condition your hand. Keep your core tight. Keep going. Don't forget each exercise lasts for 30 seconds. And you recover for 15 seconds. Keep going, you're almost there. Keep pushing. Of course, where can you get this? Wake Up Nigeria. You're almost there. Come on, come on. That's good. And stop. Good job. Relax it, relax it, relax it. Your next exercise, I take it forward and give you some reverse crunch, reverse lunge. Are you ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, take it back. Up, good job. Come on, don't stop. Keep going. As you can see, woo. Yes, yes, yes. That's good, that's good, that's good. These are exercises you can do in your living room, No gym, no problem. Let's go, let's go, let's go. That's good, you're almost there. Keep pushing. Awesome. Good job. You have 3 seconds, come on. And the last one, relax it. I have 2 more exercises for you. I want you to do this exercise and trust me, you are good. All right, all the way down. And take your side, up, and you crunch. Go, that's 1. Keep going. That's good. Awesome, that's good, that's good. Yes, for those that can't go on this space, always remember you have every grace to hold it down. Up, down. Woo. That's good. And stop. Alright? Another thing is, anything you do to the right side, you have to make it balance to the other side too. Are you ready? Always remember, up, high side plank, and alternate. That's good. Come on, go, 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 go. Yes. As I've told you earlier on, if you can hold it tight this way, just make sure, hold, up, and in. Good job. That's good. Come on. Ooh. You're almost there. Yes, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, good job. The last exercise. Whew. I want you to give me that visit. Take it up. Whew. That's good. Come on, go. Yes. That's it, that's it. Good job. Hold it tight. It's not easy, man. But trust me, you can actually do it. Let's go, let's go. 3 seconds. For those that can't hold it tight, you make sure your elbow is down. Keep your legs straight and focus. You're almost there. 10 seconds to go. Come on, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, that's good, that's good. I want you to repeat this exercise 4 good times. Each exercise lasts for 30 seconds and you rest for 15 seconds. Still your #1 breakfast show. Don't go anywhere. The show continues.
Today we're making a lovely and yummy recipe and it's called potarita. We have our ingredients here: potatoes, flour, mixed spice, salt, seasoning, and eggs. So we start by boiling our potatoes. We put them into already boiling water and just leave for 5 minutes. We put our potatoes, then add some salt. So you cover and let it boil for 5 minutes. So our potatoes have been cooked, parboiled, Then the next thing now is for us to season our flour. Just season it a little bit so that it will have taste. After frying, it will have taste. Remember, this is mixed spice. We have powdered ginger, powdered garlic, cumin, and coriander. That's what makes up the mixed spice. So we turn everything, mix everything together. We'll have a tasty coating. Then for the eggs, we just season with salt only, little salt. So to make our potarita, we take our potato, put into the egg using your right hand, then take into the flour. You coat with your left hand with flour. You bring it out back to the egg. You turn over. Yes. Then you take into the fire. And it goes into the hot oil. Please, when you are frying, make sure you fry on a low heat. The oil is hot already, just reduce the heat, then you fry. See what we got here? Potarita, looking gorgeous. So we have our potarita set and it is plated in 2 ways. You can have it with omelette. This is with vegetable omelette, and this other one is with peppered snail. Potarita with peppered snail, and then potarita with vegetable omelette. You can have yours with anything, your stew, whatever sauce you want to have, vegetable sauce, fish sauce, stew, anything you have, you can have your potarita with. Bye.
Chef Belinda doing us justice there. Love it, love it. Now, we've got Dr. Maimuna on standby for us. Now, Maimuna Mustafa is a multiple award-winning mental health physician and advocate. She's also a consultant neuropsychiatrist and a founding member, Employees Assistance Professionals Association, that are providing toll-free counseling to patients of COVID-19, caregivers, frontline workers, and their relatives for holistic wellness. And she's joining us this morning via Skype to talk to us about something really, really important. And first, about this selfless act of service, and also how people can take care of their mental health during this period. Dr. Maimuna, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
You look very nice and sprightly. I like it. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Now, this is a selfless act of service. Employees assistance. You're talking about mental health. Could you just give us a background on what this is about and how people can access your services? Doctor, okay, so can you hear me now?
Yes, very well.
Yes, I was talking about this service that you're giving people for regarding mental health and why this is so important during this period. Just give us a background on this service that you're offering.
Holistically, when managing any medical condition, there's always a biopsychosocial model to it, which then means that the biological aspect, which is what we are doing right now, screening, ramping up screening, confirmed cases, and that's why NCDC keeps letting us know the number of cases, and of course the World Health Organization on a global scale. On the social part, we see a lot of government trying to give relief materials, food, helping the citizens of any of their nation in putting things in place. But the missing link here is the psychological, approach and the psychological support. Even last week, the United Nations was already telling us that if care is not taken, mental health issues will be abound. And when you look at it globally, a lot of times, the frontline health workers, or the people that really are doing the work, people just assume that they are just fine. That is their job. Actually, that is their job. But of course, we do understand that they need a space to decluster, a place to debrief their mind, a safe space where they can also talk about their fears, their confusion, because these people have loved ones. So as an organization, it's a global organization, but we have the Nigerian branch since 2015 that has been registered with the corporate CAC here in Nigeria, the Employees Assistance Professionals Association. These are a group of counselors, psychotherapists, psychiatrists, and of course psychologists. So we came together a month ago, and we told ourselves we have to just do our own bit in our own little corner and help people out. So what we've done is to get our colleagues together on a volunteer basis with a well-structured roster, and we've deployed 10 toll-free lines that we are using. And so on a daily basis, Monday to Sunday, we have trained professionals that are mounting these toll-free lines, minimum of 5 to 7 people on a daily basis. And the calls have been coming in from the health workers, from their relatives, from their caregivers. And we just want Nigerians to know that this service is available. You don't have to pay. It's free, and it's being mounted by professional and trained counselors, psychologists, and psychiatrists.
Wow, thank you so much for what you're doing. I mean, this is like you said, it's a selfless act, and I hope that you even get more support so that you can expand the service to others as well. Now, we'd like you to give us a sense of what professionals working on the front lines, give us a sense of what they actually go through psychologically that makes them need this kind of help. Because sometimes, like you said, people think, oh, you're a doctor, you're just doing your job. Why should you be affected mentally by this? Just give us a sense of what they face on a daily basis and why this affects them mentally eventually, especially when it's prolonged like this.
Yeah, so frontline health workers are also humans like any other person. But for the fact that they are trained to do what they have to do, they can't afford to relent. So even using myself on a daily basis, I have to go to work, but I have a family. So every day you step out to go to work, your family members are afraid. They're telling you, be careful out there, don't get infected. And of course, when you come back, you have to take all the precautionary measures, jewelry, shoes, and all that. So the healthcare workers are also frontline, especially. They are afraid. Anybody that walks into the hospital right now is COVID-19 until proven otherwise. So you have to take extra precaution to make sure that you don't get home and they are telling you that the patient you just saw now, 2 days later, the result is positive. So there is fear, there's confusion, there's heightened anxiety. And let's not forget, people die. We do know that people die, especially if they are doctors. We certify patients every now and then and say, look, this person died, primary cause of death, secondary cause of death. But the truth is that we now see people that, walking healthily, and maybe for some reason, underlying medical condition, you have to certify this person and all that. So all that death rate, we are lucky. In Nigeria, we don't really have that. But of course, we still know that people do. Let's take, for example, the people that deliver, the women that are positive COVID-19 and they have to have babies. So you can imagine a surgeon and an anesthesiologist in the theater, when you already know this person is positive. And of course, any mistake you make, it can also affect yourself. So it's just that fear, that confusion, that heightened anxiety. And let's not forget, some weeks ago, one of the notable doctors that was managing patient in the emergency room killed herself. So we can also get depressed and be suicidal, but we just have to put up that front that all is well, but truly it's all really well. But with this kind of support, they can know offload their mind. They know the place is safe enough for them to talk. They can know they wouldn't be judged, they wouldn't be criticized, and of course give them that reassurance that all will be well. And if you do all the necessary things, precautionary measures in place, keep doing what you're doing, you'll be fine. So for us, everything that is happening to any normal, regular human being out there also happens to this doctor or a pharmacist or a nurse, but even more, especially when you are directly dealing with people that are positive, not people you think are positive. So our anxiety and sometimes the depressive feelings, and of course changing eating and sleeping pattern, because you are scared people that you met during the day. When you go to sleep, what if tomorrow your test comes out and it's positive? So all that clouds your emotions.
It's quite a lot of pressure on the doctors. Now, just to round off now, I know you've already started this service. You have about 7 to 10 lines. What do you need to expand this? Do you need support from the general public, corporate organizations, the government? What else do you need? Because if you're talking about these particular challenges, obviously you're going to have a lot more calls than you can handle over the next few days into weeks. So what else would you need?
We need everybody on board. Now we are just focusing on the healthcare workers. We need the government to even know that this is even existing. We need the general public to even know that this is existing. And of course, if we can get support from corporate organizations like the telecoms, if we can get more lines, and then we get more volunteers from our own side to come on board to support, because truly the government can't do it alone. But if all these things are put in place, and of course with the volunteers behind the scene, we can actually deploy the service effectively, and it can it can go on a nationwide coverage.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Maimuna, for what you're doing, for giving back to society, and of course your team as well for doing a great job supporting our doctors in the mental health And hopefully we're going to have even more testimonials of impacts that you're making. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, there's more on Wake Up Nigeria after this break.
Hello people, trust you're doing great today. It's an amazing time to share with you again as we do via this platform. Now, one of the things I want to talk about today is how can we as couples really strengthen the bonds of our affection and our relationship. Today's tip is quite unusual, but it's very important and it's something that all of us need to pay increasing attention to, and that's the area of intimacy. You know, many times we underemphasize the importance of getting really close-knit with our spouses, and we generally forfeit and forget that all-important glue, yes, that comes in the place of intimacy. And by intimacy, I mean like all the works. Intimacy, being physical with your spouse. Now, because of the lockdown, what has happened is a lot of people have been in the same spaces for a long time, and after a while, you get caught up in the routine and the regular activities of day-to-day, keeping the home clean, taking care of the children. Maybe you can hear some children shouting in the background right now, taking care of house chores, and all of those things are very demanding. The stress associated with just cleaning up the house, taking care of your business, working at home, maybe like on Zoom or Google Teams or Microsoft Teams or whatever platform it is that you use, just being consumed by all of that could leave you depleted and could leave you very tired. It could leave you with a sense of fatigue, and you don't have time or energy to get busy with your spouse. So you want to be very intentional and deliberate about it. And because, thank God, we now have more time for one another, or rather we're in the same space with one another a lot more frequently. I'm talking about couples now. It's also a very good time for us to begin to engage in mutual education. What I mean by that is let your spouse know what it is that you like, what it is you don't like. Of course, do it with empathy, do it with care, do it with sensitivity, do it with maturity, do it with decency, do it with intelligence and with sincerity of heart. It's a good time for us to connect, for us to grow, for us to educate one another or educate each other about our one another. That's the word. Educate one another in terms of couple to couple, man to man, man to woman, husband to wife. Yeah, about what some of your expectations are, what some of your preferences are in that particular area. I know it's a very unusual tip and it's quite a simple one, but it's one that I think you should invest in, and your spouse will be very grateful for that. Hope you got something from this today. Talk to you again soon.
Yeah, strengthening the bonds of affection. There's a way P. Dams does it that, he just breaks it down really simply. It has to be intentional, he says. Well, you can try it out. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Today or rather this week in history, today specifically 21st of May, 1703, Daniel Defoe, the author of the international classic story Robinson Crusoe, was imprisoned on charges of seditious libel in Britain. Now, his pamphlet, The Shortest Way with Dissenters, was an attack on high churchmen, satirically written as if from the high church point of view, but extending their arguments to the point of foolishness. The public sympathized with Defoe and threw flowers at him instead of the customary rocks and possibly food, while he stood in the pillory. Now, a pillory is a wooden structure that holds the head and the hands while the prisoner remains standing. You've probably seen it in some movies as people throw rotten food and rocks at them. Now, while awaiting his punishment, he received roses. He wrote the spirited hymn to the pillory while he was in prison. Now, Hymn to the Pillory is a really important poem. You probably, if you study literature, you'll probably get to see that. Yeah, that's a long time ago, but a very significant author and a very significant poem. You should go check it out. Now, the government of Zambia, May of 1996, adopted a new constitutional amendment to prevent Kenneth Kaunda from running for president. Now, the amendments required that candidates be at least second-generation Zambians Kaunda is the son of immigrants from Malawi. Particularly controversial was the fact that the person had to be a Zambian citizen born to parents who are of Zambian birth or descent, and that the person not be a tribal chief. It seemed to be precisely tailored to disqualify specific opposition leaders from running for president, including former President Kenneth Kaunda. This week in history, in 1994, Sushmita Sen, the Bollywood sensation, became the first Indian to be crowned as Miss Universe. As a teenager, Sen participated in the Femina Miss India contest, where she won the title Miss Femina India Universe, earning the right to compete at the Miss Universe 1994 contest. At the contest, she ranked 3rd overall in the preliminaries behind Miss Colombia and Miss Greece, and finally won the title and crown of Miss Universe. By then, she was 18, and she was the first Indian to win the title. She went on to star in over 40 Bollywood films and win no less than 18 awards for her craft. Bollywood sensation. Now, this week in history, reggae musician Bob Marley received a Jamaican state funeral, and this happened at 9 Mile, the village where 36 years earlier he had been born. His heavy bronze coffin was carried to the top of the highest hill in the village and placed in a temporary mausoleum, painted in the colors of red, green, and yes, you guessed it, gold. Alongside Bob Marley's embalmed corpse, the casket contained his red Gibson Les Paul guitar and a Bible opened at Psalm 23 and a stalk of ganja placed right there by his widow, Rita. At the end of the funeral ceremony earlier in the day, the announcement of the country's national budget was postponed by several days just to accommodate Bob Marley's state funeral. A mausoleum had to be constructed and security had to be organized at the National Arena, and the Prime Minister, Edward Seager, gave his eulogy.
Well, you just need to get through today, and it's gonna be Friday.
So be positive, have a positive attitude towards life, because it's never been more necessary, and gradually a certain level of normalcy will return.
Looking forward to it more than anybody else.
Yeah, no,
but while we wait, you can still catch a whole 45 minutes left on the show this morning. Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, that's all the time we have left to spend with you this morning, so let's treasure it together. Stick with us. My name is Titilayo Oyinsan.
And I'm Yomi Owe. Right now, we're live online at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook. Check us out at TVC Connect.
We love receiving your comments. Send them in with the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. And one other thing, there's something happening on Friday. You need to look out for Wake Up Nigeria Extra. It's going to be happening around 2:30 live on Instagram. We're going to have some celebrities join us online. Speaking of online, we have an app that allows you to watch this show and loads of other great TVC shows right in your palm of your hand and from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Now, tech discussion this morning is going to be taking place between Mike and Uyi Eboma. And they're going to be looking at a few things regarding, what you need to know about the world of tech and how things are changing pretty fast with regards to jobs and your career.
Very important. Tech careers, the new in thing. And then we have a visual artist and theater production designer, Tolu Ajayi, displaying an amazing collection of artwork in a little while.
And of course, we still have with us director and cinematographer Kayode Kasum.
Yeah.
Talking about film, directors and all of that, with the innovations that are coming in different jobs now, what cinemas are doing now are drive-in cinemas.
Yeah.
So that's what
Drive-through.
it's been. Drive-through, drive-in.
Drive-in. Oh, no, drive-through is for food.
For food, yeah. So drive-in cinema. So this Dubai, UAE, of course, you know that anything, they're always the first to start something.
Yeah.
That has been there before. So, but now, they're looking at it, look, the longer this thing stays, we need to find a way to work. So what happens is that, look, you drive through concession, where you pick probably your popcorn or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody sanitized and all of that. And then once you come in, you stay in your car or you come on a StarTimes.
Yeah.
It's just on the screen. Nobody's touching anybody.
Yeah.
And Nigerian cinema chains are looking to start that maybe the next week or so.
Wow,
So, quite a number of them. So yeah,
Nice.
I would love that experience.
I think, I mean, it would have been excellent for earlier in the year. Now that it's a bit rainy, there are one or two concerns in that area. How do you get the sound from, I mean, the screens are fine, but how do you get the sound to the car? And then apart from that...
see what happens with the sound. It depends. What they do in some places is that they route the sound through a radio wave. So there's a particular
radio station.
Signal. So you can get that.
So that's why I know that's what they do in some other. So you chill in your car and tell everybody, okay, we're going on 109.2.
Or something.
And then everybody turns to 109.2, and then the sound is on that length or that wavelength.
So that's the sound for the movie.
That's the sound for the movie.
Boys can just park outside.
Exactly.
Boys can just park outside and get the signal.
But the thing is, that way, they can be sure that people paid. So maybe it's when you pay, they'll give you the actual signal on the ticket.
But last, you have to enter somewhere to see. So you can be watching. If you want audio, you can catch audio anytime. What I'm saying is that this is so cool.
It's very nice.
And like you said, rain, that's also a problem. But I know that you can have some soundproof kind of mega system.
Yeah.
So if they want to use that, but I know that in some places they use that radio stuff. And it's exciting. I wish that, so if we here had already started stuff like that consistently, probably even during this earlier on, like you said, earlier in the year, while the lockdown, people could still go out in a group. You don't leave the car. We get all up inside the car. You come with your family. You know those would have all those space wagons, all those space balls. You just an RV vans. This is perfect. You just chill with the family, and I think I'm excited about that. That businesses are finding ways to evolve.
It's good.
To evolve.
You have to evolve, man. You can't just stay at home and say, oh, I sell plantain chips in traffic, and now I can't, there's no traffic, so I'm not able to sell. You can't do that. You have to be thinking. You have to be thinking, what else can I do? How can I get my products out? How can I find a distribution? How can I partner with some guys that can distribute this product that I'm doing? Whatever it is, you have to find a way.
You have to.
Get your
So
stuff out.
I don't know. The lack of traffic has affected sales for so many different products. The beverage producers that do the PET bottles and things like that, a drastic cut in their
And I know, and as much as people are allowed to go out now on different days for market days, I know that look, online grocery delivery is going to be a big thing moving forward. If I can get my fresh vegetables, and look, I assure you that look, they are going to be maximum one day freshness. I'm going to get them to you at home. Your vegetables, your pepper, your whatever, fresh stuff.
I have a website that does that.
Fresh stuff, right?
I have a secret website. Just go to my page. I'll post it now.
Wonderful.
I'm posting it now.
And more than ever.
So awesome things happening here. All right, we have to take the news now. Nigeria recorded 284 new cases of coronavirus overnight, pushing the total number of cases to 6,677. 1,840 people have been discharged and 200 people have died from COVID-19 related complications. Of the new cases, Lagos recorded 199 cases, Rivers 26, Oyo 16, the FCT 8, Borno 8, Plateau 7, Jigawa 6, Kano 5, Abia 2, and then Ekiti, Delta, Kwara, and Taraba all recorded 1 each. And doctors in Lagos State, the nation's commercial capital, have begun an indefinite sit-at-home strike over incessant harassment of its members on essential duties by the police. In a press statement signed by the chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association in Lagos, Saliu Oseni, the association accused the commissioner of police in the state, Hakeem Odumosu, of issuing conflicting directives on social and mainstream media to the effect that essential workers, including doctors and other health workers, are not exempted. This, contrary to President Muhammadu Buhari's directives on the exemption of essential workers, including doctors and other health workers, from the ongoing lockdown movement restrictions. The Lagos branch of the NMA resolved that it is presently unsafe for members to continue to provide healthcare services under the present confused arrangement. The association cited a particular case in which the police allegedly impounded an ambulance conveying a patient in need of emergency care. More than 50 essential workers, including doctors, were arrested in Lagos on Tuesday night following the directive of the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu. Electricity workers in Nigeria have called on the Minister of Power, Maman Saleh, to resign his appointment with immediate effect. Their call is premised on the sack of the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, Gul Mohammed. Only days earlier, these electricity workers had taken to the streets to commend the management of the TCM for mustering the needed will to sack a political appointee whose tenure expired since 2018. Now they are back on the turf. This time, they are up in arms against the supervising minister, on whose authority the CEO of the TCN has now been sacked. The workers are backing the sacked CEO, whom they say strengthened the transmission network nationwide. When the news of the CEO's sack filtered in, the workers resolved to shut down all activities, and this prompted the dispatch of policemen across all TCN offices nationwide. And while they planned the protest, the minister paid the newly appointed managing director a visit in his office. The workers are demanding reasons for Gul Mohammed's sack. Well, that's it on the news update for today on Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome back. Now it's time for our art display. On art display, we have Toluwalope Ajayi, a visual artist and theater production designer, also a mixed media artist who experiments with materials like plastic, paper, beads, fabric, even broken CDs, that's compact discs, and even stones. Her discovery of her ability to paint with stone has birthed a new art movement which she pioneers. Welcome to the show, Tolu. Tolu?
Yes, thank you very much. I can hear you.
Great to hear your voice and see you, of course. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on the show.
All right, so this movement, this art movement, stones and paint, give us a breakdown of how that happened.
Okay, it started last year, September. I wanted to make an artwork and I didn't have enough materials. So I was thinking of what to do, and I was also broke at the time, so I didn't have money also to get some of the materials I needed. So I thought, okay, why not do something different from the normal thing you've actually been doing? And then one day I went to buy something down the road, close to my house, and I saw there's this house on the street where they are constructing, and I saw stones there. I don't know what happened. I just thought about it and I was like, oh, okay, let me get some of these stones and try to use them and see how it comes out. So I got a handful of the stones, came back home. I had cardboard paper at home and very little paint. And then I used it to do the artwork, and it came out really nice. When I showed my friends and family members, they were very happy. They said it was nice, they liked it and everything. And then from there, I continued to experiment with stones. I started to gather stones. I used gravel, actually. I started to gather gravel.
I was just about to ask what sort of stones you're talking about. For a construction site, it's likely you'll find gravel. But now I have to ask, do you use the stones to apply the art, or are the stones part of the artwork?
The thing is, I actually gummed the stones on the surface I'm using for the work. So the stones make up the figure. After drawing out the figure I want to paint, I would now use the stones to make that figure. Then I now paint on it.
All right. So this, they say all art is a form of expression, but then I guess the artist has to have something that they like to express. So which particular themes are central to a lot of your artworks?
Okay, I've worked on Solitude, the man in stone playing the guitar. The theme of that work is solitude. I worked on Solitude. I have a painting on evolution where I tried to show the evolution of money in Nigeria, how it started from cowries down to metal bracelets, kobo, and then the naira. Then I've also worked on this Corona COVID-19. I've also done something about that. Then
Okay, what did you do? Let's talk about that one. What did you do for the COVID-19?
Okay, the artwork on Solitude. It was done in this COVID-19.
Okay.
There was an art challenge I did with my friend. He's also an artist. And then we said, okay, let's do something on COVID-19. Let's do something on Corona. Okay, what would you do and everything? So we started. And then I thought of Solitude because I actually found solitude also this period. It's a time for me to reflect on myself, to connect with myself and everything. And I was like, okay, what else can somebody do in solitude? And then I thought of music, because music can be therapeutic. It does so many things, and it also helps. And then I thought of a man playing the guitar in solitude. So that was how that artwork came about. Yeah. Then there is another one behind me. I don't know if you can see it. Of a lady, yes, of a lady that has a mask on her face. Okay. And the mask looks really flashy. I was just trying to talk about this fashion, the change in fashion, in the fashion trend. I was trying to talk about the change in the fashion trend, how fashion designers have moved from the norm, from what it used to be before to the present norm, which is putting on masks, but they do it in a flashy way so that people can actually go out with these masks. And even though you're going for an event or something, you can still have this flashy mask. And some of these designers also use their works to pass a message.
Very true, very true. Now I have to ask you, this art you're doing, is it a source of major income for you, or is it just a really big hobby, something that has just become something you can't do without?
It has really become something I can't do without, because I've been doing it for a long time now. And I actually studied painting in school. Even before I got into the university, I have been doing some things, although then my art was not as developed as it is now. But I started from a very young age. And now I've not really made much from it, but I really hope to. I hope to make an income from it in the future.
Well, one thing I can say is that I admire you for doing one thing, recycling. You use things like plastic, paper, beads, fabric, broken compact discs, and even stones to create your art, meaning that some things that would have been discarded are now being made to look beautiful, and I have to commend you for that. But thank you so much for sharing with us today. Thank you so much for talking to us about your pieces. We'll definitely be looking out for some new pieces that you're probably working on right now.
Definitely.
All right, then. I can't wait to see them.
I will post them when
all right. Please do, please do. And, you know, I just love seeing artworks like this. I really do. It's all about finding a way to express yourself, applying yourself in things you've probably never thought you would do. If you didn't find something like that during this lockdown, I'm wondering, maybe there's still time. You can still find something you can do on the side. All right, then. There's still so much more to come right here on Wake Up Nigeria. We have to take a quick break. Stay with us.
Now, our last guest this morning is a passionate director and cinematographer. Now, he creates and directs music videos, TV series, and shot campaigns for brands locally and internationally as well.
All right. Kayode Kasum released Nigeria's first live-action animated movie in 2017 titled Dognapped, which aired in cinemas across the country. He also has movies like Sugar Rush, Kambili, Mnet's Unbroken, Alakada, and, and so on to his directorial credits.
Yeah, Kayode is joining us this morning via Skype. How you doing, Kayode?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you've been, essentially, we've been on a lockdown in the past probably 2 months. I know that you have also been isolating yourself as well. Tell us how it's been for you.
I mean, for me, like the first 2 weeks was definitely crazy because I'm not used to staying at home for a long period of time. But definitely, I think it's much needed, and it's something I think every civilian of the country should do in trying to curb and stop the spread of this pandemic.
Yeah.
Very important that we do that. But then it's also important to keep mind and soul and body together, right? So
yes,
for a creative, very active person like you, what did you have to do to keep yourself sane during the lockdown?
So one thing I've been doing is I started dancing, started listening to music. That helped me. Exercise.
Dancing?
I wasn't really...
Yeah.
Yes, I started dancing.
Wow.
That helped.
Yeah.
Exercising helps. Just keeping a routine and a schedule planned on. It makes everything stable mentally.
Yeah. Very, very important.
So good for the health.
Yeah, I think it's very important. Now, when I was going through the list of films that you've done since a few years ago, I discovered that you do things a little differently. Do you select projects based on a certain kind of peculiarity or difference from what we usually see in Nollywood in general? Do you do that deliberately, or do these projects just come to you?
I don't select projects. So as the project comes, I just have a different creative approach to interpreting every material that I get. I just find a creative way to tell the stories differently. I do have this motto and principle that storytelling should also be a discovery, it should be visually appealing. So because of my cinematography background, that helps me in planning out the looks of each project that I work on.
I was just checking out your page now. I noted that you also pick some actors that have a different type of flair. Not all of them are huge stars. So what is it that you look out for when directing your actors?
I look out for actors that personally help. That I think that personally fits the character that we are looking for. Yes, actors that are easy to work with. Actors that I do try before I move to set. I do try to have a personal relationship with the actors because I think at the end of the day that kind of relates into the final result. So like one of the things I really do look for is if I see this actor in my everyday life, would they fit this character that I'm looking for? And that's one of the criteria that I try to fit in.
Yeah.
To fit, yes.
Yeah, you were talking about doing things differently. I've seen some of the shots that you've taken in some of your films, and I've said to myself, okay, this has to be a little bit expensive. So when you'd want to do things differently and you submit a budget, does this always cause a fight? Because usually producers and the rest of them, those bringing the money, they won't always agree with what you want to do. So how do you find a balance between some of your more crazy ideas and the budget that is on ground?
Because as every filmmaker, when you start making films from an early stage, you are spending most of your money. So one gift I do know that I have is working with budget. So first thing I ask when I receive a project is what's the budget? So I do find ways that we can do whatever crazy ideas or crazy angles that we want to take could have fit according to the budget. of the producer.
So what can you say is the highest amount that you've spent on shooting a movie?
Okay, you guys are asking me hard questions now. I can't say, but it is below 50 million.
Below 50 million?
Below 50 million.
Wow, really?
Yes, I've not crossed the 50 million cap yet.
Okay, you haven't crossed the 50 million cap. Okay, so yeah, at least we know where the cap is. So
exactly.
So it could be 49.5 or something. But let's talk about some of the projects that you have for the rest of the year. Yeah. I know that the lockdown period, while it's been tough for many in the industry, it's also been a time of reflection and redirecting your energies. So what projects are you looking at for the rest of the year, till December?
So before the lockdown, we're supposed to release Fate of Alakada, which is the fourth franchise from Tony Abraham's Alakada series. We're expecting that to come out. We have a film that I produced along with my friend Absola Yusuf titled This Lady Called, features Bisola Yola and Efraim Iwara. Then we have Kambili. Kambili is the first Nollywood, Chinese, South African production. So it's a collaboration of a Chinese film company and South African film company to make Kambili, which stars Nancy, singer, and a host of a whole lot of other actors. We do intend to release this film and release dates for this project immediately the cinemas are allowed to be open.
So quite a number of projects that are ready to be released anyway. So that's some work for the next few months.
So I want to go back to Dog Napped. Now, this was the first movie that I had seen where you gave an animal a voice, right? Basically like a Dr. Dolittle kind of movie where, you're interacting with animals. Now, working with animals anywhere in the world is hard. But how did you manage to, get them to do what you needed on set? I don't know, it's just mind-boggling to me.
So it was my first feature, like you said, and I wanted to train a dog. So I had like 3 months to plan this film, which is like saving money and getting the actors to actually say yes to this very unique project. And luckily for me, everybody said, all dog trainers were like, you can't train a dog to do this in 3 months. And I don't know, I was just very lucky, and I found someone who had been training his dog for 2 years to do the exact same instruction that I wanted the dog to do. And it was just like, it was a match made in heaven.
Wow.
I will never forget it. At the dog plot twist about that thing was something, a very interesting fact is the lead actor, Tope Telela, was very scared of dogs.
Wow.
So we had like 4 hours.
Yeah.
We had like 4 hours on the first day to actually make him sit close to the dog. So if you watch the film, I think he only touched the dog 2 times because he was very scared.
So moving away from the actual work itself now, let's talk industry talk. A lot of actors, a lot of production assistants, cameramen have been out of work for probably 2 to 3 months now. It's been pretty tough, and I know discussions have started regarding giving maybe relief and stuff, and even probably interventions for the industry. What would be your recommendation to, say, the government and maybe the CBN and any of these guys about supporting Nollywood during this period, especially as Nigeria goes into a recession after this?
I think one way that would really help the industry is if the government can help us get COVID tests. So if there's a way that, for instance, if I want to go into production and I'm going to be working with 30 people, if there's a way that we could just walk into the center, get our test for everybody on set and know that we are safe. I also think that as industry professionals, producers especially, this is the time the world is changing, people are adjusting, people are working from home. I also think this is also a time for us to adjust and create new techniques in which we can tell story. How can we work with the limits of having just 20 people, because of social distancing, having 20 people on set? I think it's going to stay big adjustment, but I think it will work. So having pre-COVID tests before we move into shoots, at least that putting people together in a vicinity to tell the story, and also finding ways that we can work with fitting with government rules and just having 20 people on set, or maybe just taking it in intervals. It's definitely challenging, and the ones going through challenge, but I think it's something we have to adjust and make happen.
All right. Now, it's very important to stay safe on a set, but there are some sets that, especially when you have, scenes with intimate sessions, tight discussions. Have you thought about how you're going to shoot these kinds of scenes from now on, especially with the fear of COVID out there?
Yes, we've thought about it. I was actually joking with some colleagues yesterday. I was like, man, if you're shooting a film, no actors are going to want to kiss each other anymore on set. But like I said, like I said earlier, if after the COVID test, I think it helps in actually the actors being safe and knowing that, yes, this other person is free of this virus. But also, I think there are other ways that as human beings that we can interact with each other and show emotion and show passion without having to kiss or actually touch. It can happen in dialogue, in mannerisms, and it's a challenge, and I guess we are all figuring this out. There's no manual to going through this. It's just being very patient, just being very patient, being disciplined with the rules that the government and health officials have set, and we can make it happen. We can all pull through this.
Yeah, very important. I mean, as we round off now, I know that you also worked with a number of crazy actors, Tony Abraham and the rest of them. So what's it like sometimes, especially when you're doing a comedy? Is it always extremely crazy on set? How do you ensure that you maintain discipline, even though you're working with comedians and people who are just not normal like every other person?
First is, I think if there's a rule I was going to say expect the unexpected, because what I do try to do personally is, because there's a script, I do for my first take, which is like when we're rehearsing, I do try to work with the script from beginning to end. Then I give them, because comedians are very creative, and it's very spontaneous. It just comes like that on the spot. Sometimes they can never recreate something they have done before. So after I follow the script, and I just go for my second and third or fourth take, just with being spontaneous, just with ad-libbing and on the spot. I tell them, now it's your playground, have fun with it. And definitely in the edit room, pick what works and we fit it into the script. And I guess the audience likes it. It's been working. Now everybody in Nigeria needs a good laugh right now. And it's always fun. For me personally, I do enjoy working with comedies because it's always fun. It gives me enough space to be very creative.
Thank you so much, Kaide Kasum, joining us this morning via Skype. And he's fully back at work.
Yeah. And that movie looks like it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
I have to say, The Fate of Alakada. Can't wait to see it myself.
Well done, man. Well done. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very
All right. Okay,
it's been a great show
set,
today.
That set must have been really energetic. Look at the
Yes,
people with that. I don't know. It must be a lot of work doing that, and everything's changing. But what remains the same is that we'll be here 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yes, indeed. A big thank you to all our guests for joining us on the show today.
Yeah.
Everyone joining us via Skype and doing a great job as we ease back into reality and into normal everyday life. We're going to be back tomorrow once again at 6 a.m.
Have a great day, y'all. Bye.